When I was 14 years old, I witnessed a murder only a few feet away from me, and my family told me to lie to the police. AMA, my neighbors across the street had been beefing since I was 7 years old. Their families hated each other, and every so often, they'd have brawls in the middle of the street. I'm talking 15 plus people in the street at any given time of day, fighting. Sometimes it got so bad that my grandma would spray them with the water hose, but it never escalated to weapons, just hands. I never knew why they didn't like each other. One fateful day, I was outside with my dog, and I saw two people arguing in the driveway across the street, one from each family. This was normal to see. Then, I watched one of them pull out a gun. You can guess what happened next. The cops were called and came. They taped off our whole block and went door to door asking questions. My family told me to lie and say I'd seen nothing. I was so afraid that I did just that. I don't know if they ever even caught the guy. But even 10 years later, it's on my mind constantly. AMA, if you really feel bad, you can tell the police now. There's no limitation on murder. I don't live in the same state anymore. From my understanding, the police know who did it because his family told on him. I just know he was on the run. It fizzled out from there, and we never received any more updates. Maybe your parents just wanted to protect you. Do you feel guilty about it? Sometimes you just gotta save your own skin. I don't know if it's guilt. I don't believe anything I would have told them would have helped. Or maybe I've just convinced myself of that at this point. Did the person die right away? Did you actually see the shooting occur? What was the immediate aftermath? Oh yes. He was gone before he even hit the ground. Yes, I saw the gun. It was a revolver. The shooter fired point blank into his chest several times, 5 to be exact. The immediate aftermath was the guy who shot him getting into a car and speeding away. I remember it took the cops a long time to get there. When they did, 2 cop cars drove past the body. My father had to run down the street to wave them down and direct them to the right area. Do you think you have PTSD from it? Even if you'd been listed, would you have been able to name the perpetrator? You were 7. Did you even know his name? I was 14. I did know his name. Well, not his real name. The families had been fighting since I was 7. Would you say you felt worried after it happened? Do you still think about it often now? Yes, I was worried. I cried a lot at first. Every so often it does cross my mind. It was mostly the shock factor, seeing these families fight for years, and it never escalated to someone being hospitalized. Was this in the Bronx, perchance? Nah. West Coast. Have you looked up the shooter's name on Judy records, or checked the state's prison lookup system? I don't know his full name. I wouldn't even know what to look up. Did you get therapy or anything after you saw that? No, I did not. I've considered it. But I don't think I can fully commit to the idea. Interesting. Why do you feel you can't commit to the idea of therapy? I just grew up in an environment where mental health wasn't taken seriously. As I said in another comment, the day I saw that guy die, my own uncle told me I was a pussy. For a long time, I was in denial because of that alone. I know I'm older now, and I've moved away from that environment, so I know better. But those values still linger in my mind. What were the families even beefing about? How could it escalate so much? It was a years-long family feud. I never knew exactly what it was about. It's not like they fought every single day, but it would be 2 to 3 times a year. You think your family told you to lie because you would be in danger if you told the truth? Yes, I believe so. Did your neighbors keep beefing after that, or did they settle down? The family of the suspect moved out less than 2 months later. Their houses were adjacent to one another. Do you think the shooter saw you? I don't know. I was standing in the front yard of my house. I wasn't exactly hiding. I think he was too engaged, but he never looked directly at me or made any eye contact. It's not too late to do the right thing. I understand why you did it then, but you're safe now. That's true. I haven't spoken to my family about it in years. It kind of got swept under the rug. Maybe I'll speak to my pop and see if he knows anything or what I should do. Do you ever think about reaching out to the victim's family? I've thought about it. but I don't know what I'd even say. It feels like it might bring up old wounds for them, and I don't want to make things worse. Plus, I'm not sure if they'd even want to hear from me after all this time. Did your parents ever talk to you about why they told you to lie? Not directly. My mom said something along the lines of, "You don't know what people are capable of," and that was it. My dad never really gave me a straight answer. I think they just wanted to keep me out of trouble. Do you think witnessing this event shaped who you are today? Absolutely. It's one of those moments that's always in the back of my mind. It made me more cautious, and I think it's part of why I left that neighborhood as soon as I could. It also made me realize how fragile life is, which is something I don't think a lot of 14-year-olds fully grasp. Did you ever talk to your friends about what happened? No, I didn't. It felt too heavy to bring up in a casual conversation. And honestly, I didn't want anyone to look at me differently. I think I tried to act like everything was fine, so no one would ask questions. Were there any rumors in the neighborhood about what happened? Oh, for sure. Everyone had their own version of events. Some people thought it was gang-related, while others thought it was just a personal feud. No one really knew the full story, and the people who did weren't talking. Do you think the shooter ever came back to the neighborhood? Not that I know of. Like I mentioned, his family moved away not long after. If he did come back, it must have been quietly because I never heard anything about it. What do you think would have happened if you told the truth back then? I don't know. Maybe nothing would have changed, or maybe it would have made things worse. I just remember feeling so scared, like I had to protect myself and my family. It's hard to say how things would have turned out. Do you feel like you're still carrying trauma from that day? Yes, I do. I might not think about it every single day, but when I do, it's like I'm right back there. The sound of the gunshots, the sight of his body, it's all still so vivid in my mind. I don't know if it's something I'll ever fully get past. Have you ever tried to track down the shooter's family to see if they'd talk to you? No, I haven't. I wouldn't even know where to start. And honestly, I don't know what good it would do at this point. Part of me thinks it's better to just let sleeping dogs lie. Do you think you'll ever take steps to find closure for yourself? I hope so. Whether that's through therapy or something else, I know I can't just carry this around forever. It's been a decade, and it still feels so fresh sometimes. I think I owe it to myself to at least try.